Good morning, everybody. It's Positive Tuesday today, February 20th, 2024. This week, we are being joined by a very special guest, Boys and Girls Club of Barron County CEO and Executive Director, Lori Zahrbock. Right? I didn't ask you before. I'm pretty sure that's how you pronounce it. But first, for Barron County Sheriff Chris Fitzgerald, I'm Ben Dryden, and you are watching The Big Show, Positive Tuesday with Ben and Fitzy, presented by Professional Exteriors and Interiors. With 20 years of experience, this locally owned and operated business provides quality work both on the inside and on the outside of your home or business. Like Fitzy and I, they believe it's the little things that make a big difference. Give them a call today, see what they can do for you. The number's right there on the screen, 715-520-2271. Fitzy, good morning.
Morning. I got to tell Brian his check's in the mail, so just so he knows that I owe him for my roof yet. So I put the check in the mail today. So yeah, check's in the mail, Brian.
Well, he still hasn't paid this year for his sponsorship, so that's fine.
Okay.
He said the same thing yesterday. He's like, "Hey, I'll get you the check soon." I'm like, "It's fine. I'm not worried about it."
I should have just sent it to you. It would have been okay. So
yes. Good morning, Dirk, and good morning, Steve, and of course, good morning to our guest, Lori. How are you? Thanks so much for coming on this morning.
Yeah, I'm doing great. Yeah, happy Tuesday. The sun's out. Can't complain.
I know. So just like 2 weeks ago, so we're off last week. Fitzy, we had a guest on a couple of weeks ago, and you had introduced a guest. Why don't you take the honors once again? Introduce our guest today.
Sure. Lori is our well, I don't know. You've been doing it for over a year now? Not quite a year? Yeah. So as our director of our Boys and Girls Club of Barron County, and we've got a lot of great things going on there. And I just wanted to come on and tell people about the Boys and Girls Club. I want Lori to tell about some great things we get coming on, a new building, how many staff we have, how many kids we serve. I don't think people understand the numbers of the kids, and Lori's heavily involved in the community, from Rotary to a lot of different things. She knows about our backpack program. She knows about a lot of things going on in the community. Lori's been a great leader in our community in the nonprofit world for years, and got a lot of experience in the nonprofit world. So she's been a great asset to our Boys and Girls Club, and is going to take us into the future here with some big, huge plans with the Aquatic Center and a new Boys and Girls Club and a lot of things going on.
Fitzy, when you say our, why do you say
I'm
our? Like Barron County's?
Yeah, Barron County, and I'm on the board of directors for.
Of course you are, right?
Of course
you're on every board.
Yeah,
Cheapers.
And Lori's on a lot of them too, so that's good.
Okay, Lori, yeah. What did he miss?
Boy, a little of everything. I mean, he didn't say how cute and pretty I am and funny and stuff. That's okay. No, yeah, thanks, Chris. Chris and I have known each other a long time, just because we share kids about the same age as well. So, I've been in this community for over, 20 years now. And, I started out just as a stay-at-home mom and just engaging in my community by volunteering, and really enjoyed the nonprofit side of things, and jumped in and I ran Benjamin's House for 7+ years, which is the nonprofit shelter that services Barron County. And then, what I found was homelessness is a really big problem. Very hard to watch those people that have become homeless and the choices that they're making. But those choices stem from traumas from their childhood, typically. So a lot of things that I've been involved in our community, from poverty and looking at some of those root causes. Root cause is going to be our children, right? So when Boys and Girls Club approached me to come in and help get the ship going in the right direction, I thought this is a great opportunity to work on that root cause, which is hopefully steering these kids in a direction that will dissuade them from making those choices later in life, and they won't end up homeless or won't end up making choices that would cause them to create a trajectory that's not valuable to the community.
I never would have associated those together, and now, of course, I think about it, that was probably stupid, but I wouldn't think that having an organization like Boys and Girls Club, which, by the way, we should probably just get into exactly what is an average day, what does this actually look like, but just thinking about if they didn't have this, could that lead to homelessness? I just always still assume, and maybe I still have to have more education on this, we have to have our guest back on that we had a couple weeks ago to explain this to me a little bit better. When it comes to homelessness, it's just like a series of events, but I didn't think at any point this started like when you were young, that it could lead to homelessness, or more likely, I should say, to be homeless. How does that translate? Before we get into like what is the Boys and Girls Club, how does that translate? Because I don't want to forget this.
Right. So through my many years of working with the homeless population and now in this realm, trauma, it's trauma, mental health, and it comes from the issues that we're finding that happens. So when you have traumas at a young age, very hard to understand, and you're not fully developed, right? Your frontal lobe is not fully developed. And so you internalize things and you don't deal with them. So then let's just this would be a snapshot, but take a child who's been severely abused, has lived in homelessness themselves, and move them through the system. As they get older, they don't know how to cope. And then what do we choose to cope? We choose alcohol, we choose drugs, those things that technically it's not always causes homelessness, but if you were to say that was one of the downfalls, there you go.
Yeah.
Now that's a quick path. Not everyone's going to go down that path, but
Sure.
Our goal at Boys and Girls Club is to be that hopefully that piece that will create resiliency and give a child hope and understanding that they can have success.
Yeah. Good morning, Renee, and good morning, Brian. Vote. I didn't think I know today is election day, but I didn't think there's anything on our ballots anywhere. Are there?
Referendums today.
Cumberland school referendum is $32 million. So good luck to Barry Rose, the superintendent over there, and hopefully Cumberland will have a new school by the end of the day.
Well, slow down. I know we're talking Boys and Girls Club, but we can't gloss over this. What now? They're getting a $32 million, or is this to upgrade the school or like a brand new school?
Well, they need a brand new school. It'll be a big makeover to the Cumberland area. I mean, they are in need of that's an old school. I think it's probably the oldest school in Barron County. From the aspect that hasn't been upgraded, the high school hasn't been upgraded. They don't have an auditorium. They don't have, they need a lot of upgrades in Cumberland. And I think they've done a great job of showing the community where their money's going to go. I know it's a big number. I think it's like $30-some million. So good luck to Barry Rose, the superintendent over there, and all the work he's put into that.
Oh, holy cow. That's a lot of money.
That's the only thing in Barron County from the election.
I'd say I didn't know a whole bunch more. I should have looked. I think you can go to like myvotewi.org or something. Spooner School Board. Jeepers. I didn't even know that was all.
You'll be on the ballot, I heard, huh?
What's
Ben?
that?
You're going to be on the ballot?
Yeah, we're not talking about that. We're not talking about it. I don't want to be. Anyway, let's get back to the Boys and Girls Club. So the average day for you. So you go into work. What is it that you do? And then what does an average day just look like if someone was just sitting at the Boys and Girls Club and just like watching all day? What are they seeing all day?
Well, obviously we're an after-school program. So right now it's pretty quiet because the kids are at school. But we have a lot of our staff will come in around noon and they'll get the club prepped. We have programs that we follow. Boys and Girls Club is actually a national organization, and so we are an entity of that organization. So they have some great programming that they give us that we develop for the kids each day. So at about 3:00, the kids hop off the bus. We have a great relationship with all the schools. We are located in Rice Lake, Barron, and Cumberland.
There's 3 locations?
4. We have a Lincoln Clubhouse, which is located in Rice Lake, and that location serves kindergarten through 4th grade. And then we have middle school sites, which is 5th through 8th grade in Barron, Rice Lake, and Cumberland.
5th through 8th grade. No high school?
Not right now, but we're working on that. COVID did a little ditty on that one, so we're trying to get the high school back up and running. Just because it had shut down and it was already, engaging teens is difficult. And so after we opened up after COVID, we had lost some staffing and we chose not to staff that site at the time. And it's just one of those areas we haven't focused on.
Yeah, Fitzy as well, I've noticed. Teens and Chris Fitzgerald, hard to get them engaged. It just is. Yeah, so they come after school. So 9 months out of the year, right? It's an after-school thing, but I mean, there's like daycare for this stuff. So what's the difference between a day? How do you, once I get in, but how does this work? Like anybody can just go to a Boys and Girls Club after? Do you have to sign? How does it work?
Yep. So again, kindergarten through 8th grade is what we're serving right now, and it's just $20 a year.
What?
Yep.
Yeah.
You need to charge a lot more than that.
Right?
Well, we can't.
Why?
So that's the benefit, and that's why we're considered a nonprofit, because our community supports us and understands that kids. It's vital for kids to have an after-school program and to allow not only the kids a safe space to come after school. That can be kind of the witching hour, right, Chris? The kids go home and they get in trouble.
Right.
The parents aren't around. They're finding the liquor cabinet, or they're finding some cigarettes and smoking those. They're out in the streets wreak a little havoc. I think that's where that after school time, but also, like you just said, Ben, like what? How much? Yeah, we're helping some of those parents who might be struggling. They have to be at work, and if we can help keep some of those costs down so that they can pay for their rent, pay for their car, there's a benefit that way too. So,
How many kids right now do you have that go there usually on
so
average?
our Lincoln Clubhouse is our largest. Again, that's that kindergarten through fourth grade, and we serve an average of about 100 kids a day.
What? I was thinking like 20 or 30. Like,
Oh,
no
no.
kid.
It gets crazy here after 3:00. It would not be this quiet.
Yeah.
No kidding. And where is that located again? I think you already told me.
Yeah, we're right in Rice Lake. We're the old Lincoln school.
I
So
don't know where that is.
it's a 100-year-old building. So we can get into that as well.
Well, Cumberland's got some money coming in, it sounds like. Maybe you can see if they can
Right.
throw you a couple $1 million.
That's right.
We'll have a whole new focus we're going to be working on as we open a new site. But right now we're located right by St. Joseph, the parochial school here in town, right on Wilson Avenue. Old school building. But at 3:00, the kids hop off the bus and they come in. And here's the other thing, Ben, we feed all of them. So
Like
they
peanut butter and
are-
jelly? I mean, for $20
No.
a year.
Yeah, no, they
Lucky you get some.
get a-
Here's some saltines and a ketchup packet.
they get a well-rounded meal. We have a cook, and they get a hot meal, and that's part of our commitment too. Is that food is really important, right, for these kids? It could be the only meal they have at the end of the day. So
No kid. Fitzy, you didn't do all your stuff before the show, did you? You're fuzzy.
Yeah, I didn't.
Oh,
Well, sign out and switch it over. We'll just talk behind your back.
Oh, I didn't. You're right.
Yeah,
You guys keep talking.
yeah, no problem.
he's gonna do his fuzzy.
Yeah, so he has to, he forgot to hit the sign up button. There you go. If he has to go through the setup thing to whatever to make sure it doesn't happen. Otherwise,
Yeah.
it gets really wonky really fast.
Otherwise
So
he gets
100
all
kids. So, but by the way, you had sent me some information yesterday that you had just about you. Oh, I want to get to that when Fitzy comes on because I think he's on the board for Northwest Technical College, and you were on there as well.
Yep.
But you were at previously Benjamin's house for 7 years, and then
Yep.
that now to Boys and Girls Club. Was it there's kind of a max, like you hit this moment after in that kind of a job, like at the Benjamin's house, where it's time for me to make a change now. I have to go somewhere else, let somebody else put their stamp on it, because you kind of
Yep.
get emotionally burnt out from those things, or is it just, no, I wanted a new challenge? What was the reasoning from going from Benjamin's house to Boys and Girls Club, even though, as you said at the beginning, it's kind of under the same umbrella, but different,
Right.
but similar?
I think you hit them both, Ben. I think there is in the nonprofit world, there's a lot of burnout for sure. You're doing a lot of people's jobs. You're doing a lot of work
Right.
with less staff than you normally might have. And to be honest, I was looking for a challenge. I think my forte lies in making sure that we have strong nonprofits in our community that are focused on what we're trying to accomplish. And Boys and Girls Club needed someone, and I felt like Benjamin's house was at a really good point. I gotten it established really well, and Boys and Girls Club was the next thing to look at.
So with the 20, real quick, so for anybody that wants to find out more information, then go to your website. I think it was just BGC, so B as in boy, G as in
Yes.
girl, C as in club, bgcbarroncounty.org. I was looking at it this morning. So they can go on there, get more information, find out how they can have their kiddos go, etc., or find out. When they're there, these kids from after school until what time?
6:00.
6:00. Is it just, like a romper room, free for all? Are there any programs or just let's sit down and eat some food,
Right.
or are there desks for studying? What does it kind of look like?
Yeah, so let's dispel that rumor that we are not a daycare and we are not a romper room. It's not a free for all. Like I said, they come in and they first of all, we feed them a meal at all those levels, even in that middle school level. And then, like I said, we have that programming. So we have 5 core areas that we focus on: character and leadership, career development, which is big, right? Health and life skills, the arts, and then sports and fitness. So
leadership development for like kindergartners?
yeah.
No kidding?
Why not? Last year we had a lemonade stand once a week, and the kids had to kind of apply to be part of working at the lemonade stand. So what are they learning? They're learning how to customer service and how to show up for their job. I mean, these are life skills that we feel are
awesome.
important. Yeah.
But what's really neat about that, Ben, is then they took that money that they made and bought things for the club. Like they wanted to buy a
water slide.
A water slide. And so they would sell this, and they're selling this. They're pitching their ideas to these businessmen coming, and people were buying $1 lemonade with $100 bills. I mean, and could you imagine giving a lemonade? I mean, you know how you impact a kid's life. You're a businessman. You lay $100 bill down, and you don't want change back, and they got $100 closer to their goal, and then they bought stuff for the club. I mean, it's this. Lori has this wraparound service, and it was really cool. And her staff did a lot of the work, and I know she credits her staff for a lot of it. But it takes a leader to lead that staff, and that's what's really cool about that lemonade stand. I stopped and bought and it was good lemonade besides. So
the best $20 glass of lemonade I ever had. Yep.
That's right.
Oh my goodness! So that's, by the way, going back to it was 100 kids. That was just at one location, or that was
right. That's
so how
just
many
our
on an
younger
average
ones.
day? It was the four different locations.
Yeah. So they, at that younger age, obviously that's going to be your higher number, just because that you nailed it. That's a daycare piece. And, when you hit middle school, those kids can probably ride the bus home and be home for that hour by themselves. But middle school really needs to be engaged, because that's where they do start to get into a little bit more trouble.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, a whole bunch of things are happening. I can't speak for women, but Fitzy and I, as boys, a lot of things are going on in middle school, and it's very confusing. So keeping distracted is always a good idea. So this is just after school until 6 o'clock.
Right.
So when cleanup and everything, everybody's gone. I mean, not just the kids, but staff. You're all gone by 7-ish?
6 o'clock. Yeah, 6:30.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, most people pick up their kids by, most people pick them up by 5:30.
Okay.
You have the few that, but again, we're helping support those families that really need us too, so they can stay at work.
And I'm assuming that when school is out, you're not, let's say if it's all the schools are, something going on because there's no buses dropping them off, and if you're really just there from after school until 6 is it like a daytime thing, or just, no, it's still here, 4 to 6?
So yesterday there was no school in Bryce Lake, and we have a full day program. So then the kids get dropped off at 7:30 and stay until 6.
What?
Yep.
My
For
goodness.
the same $25.
During spring break, and then Ben, I'm not going to lie to you, our summer program is our biggest piece. So
that was where I was going next with this. Is well, now that we know what happens on the days that they're not at school, what about summertime?
Yep. So that is probably our biggest piece. Is in the summer we offer programming from 7:30 in the morning until, we might cut it down this year, 5 or 5:30, just because it becomes a really long day for the kids. But it is happening here in the summer, and it's fun. It's like camp for these kids. They come, and we've got all these programs. We feed them. We do field trips. We go to the library. We engage, and we keep those kids not only out of trouble, but we stop that summer slide. We have reading programming and math, so that these kids go back to school and they haven't fallen behind.
For $20 a year. So let's talk
about
summer.
The summer is different, Ben. You do have to pay in the summer. It is $50 a week.
Okay, still.
Right.
All right. So Fitzy, how long have you been on the board?
Ooh, probably 15 years. Been on the Boys and Girls Club board. So.
And where is it today versus where it was 15 years ago, or even 10 years ago? Where do you think? And where do you think it is now compared to then, and where does it need to go?
Well, it needs to go where Lori's going to take us, and it needs to go to a new building. Now, we've gone from being attached to the school, being in the school, and the school saying we don't have enough room, so you need to go out. So they gave us this school. We've had a great partnership with the Rice Lake Area School District since the inception of the Boys and Girls Club, and then we've expanded that to the Cumberland School District and the Barron School District. But we're in need of a new building. And it takes money to these nonprofits. Lori and I have been on fundraising teams for years together. It takes a lot of money to run the Boys and Girls Club, to run the Benjamin House, to run all of these nonprofits, our libraries. We've talked a lot about that. So people need to give. Our community supports us wholeheartedly. This is where Lori's traits and she's awesome at fundraising. She's awesome at bringing the people to the table to make a difference. And that's why we're building a new building in Rice Lake. And she can tell you all about that.
So I thought you were just saying we need to have a new building.
No, we're building one.
What?
Yep.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, where?
So the current building we're in is 100 years old. It probably has 7 different flights of stairs. It's not accessible for anyone with any ADA issues, and it's just old. So those in the community may have heard, but the current swimming pool, they are building a new pool. So I don't know. Are you super familiar with Rice Lake, Ben? Like
the main spots.
Okay. Yeah. Well, up where the Hilltop and the Rice Lake Middle School are, is the Rice Lake pool.
Okay.
So they actually have already started a brand new pool aquatic center behind that. And then the current pool will be demolished and we'll put a Boys and Girls Club there attached to that aquatic center and right next to the schools.
How much? So it'll be newer.
Oh, brand new.
Yeah, brand new.
Oh, I thought you said you're taking the old.
We're going to demolish the current.
Oh, okay.
We're just taking the footprint.
Oh, understand. Oh my goodness! How many more square feet? How many square feet do you have now, and what is it going to be? The next one, is it going to be significantly bigger or just newer?
Really asking that? I'm not very good with spatial reasoning.
It's going to be bigger.
Tell me 20 square feet, and I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah,
It's going to be enough to hold all of our teens and so it'll hold our K through 8th all in one location.
Oh wow! So when does that project begin?
So we are doing a kickoff campaign, hopefully starting in June. And the actual project itself, the build or like the demolishing and starting of the build will start in January of 2025, right? We're in 2024. Yeah. Yep. 2025.
25. And it'll be ready
2026, hopefully. Yeah. If not sooner,
so
I don't know.
A couple years?
Yeah.
My goodness.
So they're building
we have to raise about $4 million to help support that program. Or that.
That's what you guys have to raise? That's your portion?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Who, out of curiosity, where's the other portion come from?
So we're working with the Rice Lake Area Aquatic Center, and so they've raised some money already for that piece. Mm-hmm. And then the school district is a big supporter, as Chris had said, and they'll be hopefully helping with some of that cost as well.
Nice. It is like you're under the umbrella of Boys and Girls Club, right? I mean, it's the.
Yes.
Do they help out at all? Or grant writing? Is there funding for this stuff? Or.
Yep. So they help us with our capital campaign. We've written for a couple of grants. There was just a big grant that Evers had that you could write for that we took care of, and so that'll be part of it. But we really want the community to understand that this is their club. And so we really want the community involved with it too. So, yeah, Romaine, you're right. Chris can write a check.
I think Ben can, Romaine. We both know that.
Yeah, right. Yeah, fat chance. Oh, hey. Oh, shoot. We should have. Oh, man, Romaine. The maps came out yesterday. I didn't even look. Is he even? I don't even think he's in his own district anymore, is he?
No, I know. That's what I was going to say. Nice to see you, Romaine. Bye, Romaine. Yeah, he's not in.
I'll rent a room up here for you. I'll just say that you stay here 50% of the time. And you just got to slide me a couple $100 a month under the table, and we'll call it good.
We should talk about that live on the air. Let's do that.
I think so. I think it's a good idea. Sorry,
we have law enforcement here.
Yeah, it's a huge building, Ben. It's been in the works for a long time from the school district standpoint. They partner with the Boys and Girls Club. The support is in the community for this. We know it's a big ask of our community partners. But there's going to be an indoor track, indoor courts. I mean, it's a community center, Boys and Girls Club, community pool. Randy Drost has been the leader in this. Now Lori is part of that team to get us into the, we've got to move Rice Lake forward. We need some things for the community to have indoor pools. It's going to have 2 pools. There's going to be a water slide. It's not a water park, but there's going to be it's going to be a fun place to go. We don't have any place to go in the winter to walk. So now we have a walking track. There'll be indoor pickleball, indoor basketball.
Oh, yeah, so I just assumed. Wait, so this is for other people can use this too?
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, so I didn't realize that.
It'll be
somebody
a
already said that.
I didn't use it.
Boys and Girls Club will be its own entity, but will be attached to a community center.
Oh, got it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Thought it was like all in the boys and girls part of my
Oh,
Sheepers Creepers.
goodness,
Yeah,
I don't need that much
that's
stuff
pretty
to
nice.
handle.
Pretty nice
It'll
deal for
all be
these
attached,
kids.
so it's going to be one big building. I mean, it's going to all attach to each other, and the renderings are really good. It's going to be. I mean, it's a lot of money. There's no question, but we believe this community's done some great things, from our football fields to our complexes to, it's tough when you do referendums, what Barry Rose is going through in Cumberland. And when you ask for money, it's tough, but these communities back us, and it's a big ask. And I know Lori and her team will get us there. We've got some great partners, and, but obviously the day-to-day operations need to continue too, which costs money.
I was just going to ask, which one right now is like the pressing one? Is it the day-to-day? Hey, can you help out with $20 here or there? Is stuff like that? Write a check for $100 or whatever you can afford, kind of a thing. Or we're really just looking for bigger things to go to help out for this new center.
Sure.
I mean, I'm assuming both are very important, but
yeah, I mean, you're flipping a coin. Obviously, we have to have the day-to-day operations, because there's no point in building a new place if we don't have the day-to-day.
Right.
So, our big focus is always going to be on what can we do to impact the kids now, and donating those dollars obviously is going to keep the current programming going as part of our next steps to move into this new location. We will be looking at trying to create an endowment, which will create some of that consistency and just ensure that this program is going to continue to go. If we build a new building, it doesn't mean that we got to keep it going. So we got to make sure that the community is going to continue to support it. And I think the reason that Chris is such a big supporter of this is that children are our future. And I think everyone needs to understand that we need our kids to have stability, because they're the ones taking care of us later too, right? But they also need to be a part of our community and be, entering the workforce with positive attitudes and being able to do these jobs. I think we've all found lately that, just workforce alone has been difficult to find people to work. And if we don't have quality workers, what are we going to do then? So that's a big piece of what we're doing too, is ensuring that these kids have that stability and success.
I'm pretty sure Mike Schaefer could probably donate.
Yeah, there
right?
you go.
He's a Spooner House CEO, and you see that it's got that big award. They're killing it. So, speaking of,
and this pool, this aquatic center, will reach into Spooner. I mean, people that work in Spooner live in Spooner that work in Rice Lake can use the Boys and Girls Club. You don't have to live in Rice Lake to do that. But we have a program called It Just Takes One, Ben. It doesn't need to be $1 million donation, although if you have $1 million laying around, there it is. It just takes one. That's how people can give right now. I mean, you don't have to give $100. It can be $20. Everybody can make a difference in a child's life today by donating to It Just Takes One. That's what we want to do. Lori's got great handouts. If you want one, she'll send you one. I mean, we just got these, these great little handouts.
What did it say? What did it say? History will judge us by the difference we make in the everyday lives of children.
I mean, and the inside, I really like this. I mean, as a child grow, they begin to write their own story. And that's what the Boys and Girls Club does, in my opinion. And what we do, we create a safe place for kids to go after school. They get to learn, they get to eat. Their parents don't have to worry about them. That's what the Boys and Girls mission has always been. And, we've been trying to build an aquatic center or a community center in this town for 20 years. Lori's been part of that with some plans, and they've always fallen through. And the Rice Lake Area School District has made that happen with the community backing, with the Rice Lake Aquatic Center now teaming up and being a nonprofit, and now adding the power of the Boys and Girls Club with that. And it's second to none. And this is what this community is needed. I've lived in Rice Lake my whole life. Lori's been part of our community. It needs to happen, and it needs to happen now. We can't have these kids in a 100-year-old building. We can do better. We've got great staff, great programs for after school, for the summer, to keep these kids safe, and that's my job. And that's why we're going to make this happen.
Is there any aspect of this where, you're on their board. You're also on the board for the Benjamin's House. So a couple weeks ago, when the executive director on, I'd asked you the same question I'm going to ask you now. Is there a benefit from a law enforcement point of view for programs like specifically, not like this, but specifically the Boys and Girls Club having this new facility? Is there a benefit to law enforcement? If so, what is it?
It's the 3 to 6 p.m. That is the most dangerous time for law enforcement. That's when these kids, if their parents are at work, where are these kids? They're together with their friends. They're looking at causing problems. I'm not saying every kid does.
You're bored. You're bored. That's what happens.
Spot, right. I mean, there's sports, but sports aren't for every kid.
Yep.
And this is the after school program. This is a safe place to get something to eat, to have some control, have it be affordable for families. I mean, $25 a year after school, 3 to 6 p.m. I mean, that's awesome. And a lot of people give more than that. We have a lot of people that give to our club because they can afford to. They just still want to send their kids there because, this is the safe spot. They get to do some homework. They get to learn. They get to do some art. They get to try music. They get to, Lori brings speakers in. I mean, it's the staff at the Boys and Girls Club. Plus they're role models. We call our staff role models. They're role models to these kids. It's pretty awesome when you go there after school and see these bigger kids interacting with the little kids. It's fun.
It's almost like they kind of a big brother-ish, big sister-ish kind of a role.
Right. It's an exact formula of that.
Ken has started working at my son at Economart. And just last night, when I picked him up after work, I asked him, have you been meeting any, coworkers kind of your age and anybody that you kind of become friends with? And there was just one kid, and he was from Chalet. So you kind of forget about that. He goes to school, middle school, 8th grade in Spooner, but he's now friends with a junior in Shell Lake. And it's just kind of that taking under the wing because he's been there a while. It's kind of teaching Ken, but they've become this. I'm just saying that stuff is so awesome because when you go to school, which is phenomenal, it's fantastic, obviously, but you're still around your own age, really. So it's kind of neat, I think, for these kids. It's almost like you're learning without being told that you're learning. And it's about really kind of how to interact with people that aren't your age, older and younger. Do you see that as a benefit as well, Lori, or do you kind of just keep everybody all right? First graders over here, second graders over here.
Well, you're talking exactly what is important about the club too is understanding how to have social interaction. We're not going to lie, COVID did a deal on that for a lot of our kids. So understanding how to interact with not even just kids, but other adults too, right? I mean, these aren't just their teachers. Like Chris said, these are kids that are from high school that are coming in at the, for their job, and they're acting as the role models, and these kids being able to understand and respect other adults and their authority. But then, I think the interaction between, a first grader and a third grader, and those third graders and fourth graders even being role models is great too. So
yeah, it's weird. Dad is chiming in. Great organization. Keep up the good work that you do, Lori. I seen, and Chris also, must be you and Chris also, how interaction, activities, and such with our youth impacts the lives of our children. Seldom does law enforcement intervene in their lives. Good luck through facility. Obviously, Dad being the sheriff here in Washington for 28 years until his retirement a while ago. Great perspective. How old do you have to work at the boy? How old do you have to be?
We take 15. They can start at minimal hours, but usually starting at 16. So
sure.
It's a great job for that high school age because it is right after school. And again, we get lots of kids who come in that want to be teachers or something along that lines, and so they get that opportunity to be in a classroom.
Wait, so you're saying how do you have to work? So you could work there at 15 or 16?
Yeah.
Is that what you say? Okay. Well, and actually that's perfect for labor laws because that's usually the biggest issue with hiring a 15-year-old is, you can't work this. You can't work more than this many hours. Right. If you have school the next day, you have to be finished by 7 o'clock. Yeah. Well, this actually is like, perfect. And hey, when can you work? I can't work till after school. Perfect. That's when we're open. So that's actually really cool. It's almost like you're working there and almost like a mentorship as well, like being a camp counselor or something.
Exactly. And they have fun and they've got the energy. They got a lot more energy than me. So they're great to have.
Oopsie. Shasta had a question. What educational qualifications do you have to work at the Boys and Girls Club? Sounds like none. I'm kidding.
Hey, teaching those kids is a big deal. We do have different levels that, we talk about the high school and that younger age that do come in. Those are our youth development professionals. They assist in the classroom, but at the next level, we have site directors at each location. So typically, obviously, you have to have a high school education. We ask for maybe a little bit more work experience because you would be managing staff. And then, you go to the next level where you're a director. And obviously at that point, we would ask for some more potential, like a 2-year. I'm always open to experience, and I believe experience is important. And if you have a drive and a desire to work with children and you want to make a difference, this is the place to be. I mean, you can't change that. There's nowhere you're going to make a bigger difference besides in the schools, but we really can make an impact on a lot of these kids who need us.
We have 10 minutes left. That was most of the questions I want to get through, but we can kind of wrap it up and talk about whatever Fitzy also wants to talk about. We'll do all that in 15 seconds after a word from Spooner Health.
Spooner Health, compassion is at the center of everything we do. It's rooted in who we are and why we're here. It unites us as providers, neighbors, and as a community. Learn more at spoonerhealth.com.
All right. Fitzy, what else did you want to make sure that we talked about regarding Boys and Girls Club from your perspective as the being on the board?
Well, I just wanted everybody to understand how many kids we serve, and while it's 100 a day, you take that. It might be some kids come on Tuesdays and Thursdays. We might reach more than 100 kids just at we look at servicing. That's a lot of kids on a daily basis that we're making a difference in their lives, and I just want people to understand that.
One location,
that was
remember?
just one.
So that's just,
yeah.
Yeah, so our middle schools each have between 15 and 30 a day. So I would say on average, we're probably hitting about 160 to 180 kids a day across the county. And in the summer, that's bigger.
Yeah, and we want to grow that number, and the only way we can make that grow, because we're maxed at the building we're in, is to if we want to. And I understand people think it's just cheap daycare, and it's not. I mean, we're teaching STEM programs. They have lots of different programs besides just getting out and having some physical activity. We have a computer lab. They can do different things and make it in art and the music, and it's just unique opportunities for kids that we just don't put them in a gym, put a movie on, and help their parents come by 6 o'clock and pick them up.
For $20, that's what I would expect.
And it's not just for the bad kids. It's not just for we fought that
stigma.
I don't know what the word I'm looking for, but that perception of that before. It's my kids have gone there. I mean, other kids have gone there. I mean, it's just for kids that want to have somewhere to go after school. Maybe, and some parents just say, hey, that's a great interaction for my kids after school. Go burn some energy off and have some fun. And I'll finish, whatever I'm doing at home, and I'll come and get you. So it works out. I mean, having the kids bus there. When we move up to the middle school, or kids are going to be able to walk right next door and be at the Boys and Girls Club. And we're going to have it's going to be a 2-story building, and we got a new kitchen, and it's going to be great opportunities for kids.
So I'm assuming, are you anticipating an uptick then in middle school age if you're right next door?
Yeah.
Right.
How do you project that? Do you put out a survey to parents or something? But that's not for 2 years from now. Do you have any clue if you're going from 20 or pick any number? I'm just using 20, an arbitrary number. 20. Looking at it percentage wise, not a number wise, is it going to be 100%, doubled?
More? I would think so. I would guess we would move into I bet we'll have between 50 to 70 middle school. But it's going to be a cool space. It's going to be brand new. It's going to be a teen space. It's going to have, video games, and because we do have educational video games. One thing I was looking at the other day was those Oculus, those are cool. Those are the new things they're using for workforce readiness. So I think just the appeal of a brand new space is going to be pretty cool.
You know what? You should leave a room open, and we'll put our Dreadmore studio in there.
Yes.
So then in the daytime when there's no punk kids around, I can be in there playing with all those cool toys.
Listen, and then guess what you could do? You could teach some of these kids how to do this. How cool would that be?
Sure. Usually I say pay me, but in this case, I'll have Fitzy pay me. He's not paying attention. He's reading. He can only do one thing at a time.
I'm reading. Yeah. I'm reading Dirk's thing.
What did you say? Oh, weather. All right, we'll get to the weather here real quick. Dirk is our official weatherman. Part one word to sum up the weather. Boring. Yes. Love it. Dry and warm, highs in the 40s. Could be up to 50 coming Wednesday. Good Lord. That's ridiculous. Part two, a little cooler for Friday. Highs in the upper 20s and 30s. Warming back up to the 40s this weekend. Could be in the middle 50s next Monday. Dirk, I have a question. Is there a chance that we could literally go without any more snow this year? I mean, we've got to get one big snowstorm still, right, Dirk? I don't know. I'm just wondering if you have any kind of predictions on that. Farmer's Almanac type predictions. All right, Lori, what else did you want to make sure we talked about that we didn't get a chance to talk about?
I think we have some really great communities in Barron County that, we're very rural. And I think sometimes we get unnoticed because we're not in a super urban area, but these kids really need us. There's kids that definitely need us because they have difficult home lives. They may have seen those traumas I was talking about. But I also think that we have an amazing community that really wants to support it. So we appreciate all the support that people do give to Boys and Girls Club, to Benjamin's House, the Pregnancy Help Center, to all of the nonprofits, because without the nonprofits, we wouldn't have the community we have. And I truly believe in that. As Chris said, I'm really involved. I'm on a lot of boards. I'm part of United Way. I'm on Rotary. I run our education foundation. I mean, these are all things that it takes all of us to float each other's boat. And I think it's important that we have every entity working to better our communities. And I appreciate you giving me the time today to come on and toot my own horn. But I'm always in support of everything that we do in these communities to make our world better.
So you were also at Northwood Technical College, which Fitzy, of course, is on that board too. I think he's up to like a baker's dozen now. Is that where you two first kind of got to know each other? Or no?
No, we actually coached soccer together.
Yeah,
so our kids are the same age.
We do all that too. We volunteer all
we
over.
coached soccer together. Lori and I coached soccer. No one wanted to coach, so Lori and I were like, we know. Well,
so
Lori
of course
knows
you volunteer.
soccer.
The two of you.
Yeah.
Seriously, you volunteer for everything.
Yeah, our kids are the exact same age. So my daughter, her son, and her daughter and my son are the same ages. So that's how we got to know each other. So I want to reach out to Shasta. She says said childcare educators, and by no means are we saying daycares. We know that daycares are educational opportunities for people.
I see.
Shasta has an awesome daycare, and she is very educated. She's worked very hard to create opportunities similar to what we have at the Boys and Girls Club. I wasn't making that comparison at all. We need our daycares wholeheartedly. So by no means was that a dig on daycares. We were just using that as we're not we have a lot of education.
First of all, I was the one who said that, and that's that I don't think anybody that actually goes to a daycare actually believes that what it is. But there is a perception about daycare. There just absolutely is. And if you don't think so, then you don't know what you're talking about. Right. There is a perception. Now the reality is the majority of them are not. And most of them are just phenomenal and excellent. But there is kind of that stigma to them, or at least this perception of what it is. Again, I don't know where that came from. I don't know, maybe that's how they were 50 years ago or something. I have no idea, but there is still that around. And I was just tying that into, is it kind of what people think about what some of the perception is about daycare? Is that some of that same perception they think about Boys and Girls Club? That was all that reference was. But no, I totally understand. I think they both do a phenomenal job, just different models and how they do it, right?
I agree with Shasta. I mean, that model, and I think sometimes that the perception is negative, and that daycares are very, very important and full of lots of programming, and especially at a very crucial age, right? They're at that really young toddler age, and we don't touch that. We don't touch those young ones. That age 0 to 5, those daycares, if we didn't have them, there wouldn't be people able to work, or and their kids would not be able to do the things that they do. And I think there's a lot of daycares out there that have done great strives to ensure that our kids are prepared for school. We're just that extra piece that, again, we're in addition to a lot of things. We're in addition to daycares. We're in addition to the educational system. We are not here to be any better or worse than anyone else. We're just here to help hopefully add to that.
You're like a little Dutch boy, just filling in the gaps.
Sure.
Right?
And our youngest age is kindergarten, right, Lori? Our youngest age, that was one of the questions here. We take kindergarten and above.
What's the youngest age, Fitzy?
Kindergarten.
Kindergarten. And say Halloween again.
I think it's time to go.
Okay, yeah, it's my time. All right. Anything else? What do you have coming up this week, Fitzy?
Meetings, and I don't think anything real major. So lots of meetings. Booster Club. Lori and I used to be on Booster Club together. So
we have got Barron County Coalition.
Barron County Coalition, BC3 meeting. Celebrity golf is on Friday. Lori and I are on celebrity golf. We have put on the celebrity golf event, and that
Friday.
is a big fundraiser for. Yeah, well,
No, that's just the
we're
planning. No, we're not golfing
Oh,
yet.
I'm like, I know it's nice weather, but
Yeah.
Yeesh.
The snow's going to melt. We're having a golf tournament. That's it.
Oh, and by the way, Dirk did give an answer. He said, I think we'll see one more good snowstorm. I may be wish casting. I love that word, wish casting.
Wish
I've never heard that
casting.
before. I love that.
Wish casting. I'm going to wish cast that one away and wish for some.
Yeah, me too. I don't want any more snow. It's going to be gone on Friday.
Awesome. Lori, thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah, thank you.
Absolute
Nice to meet
pleasure.
you.
Yeah. For Barron County Sheriff Chris Fitzgerald, I'm Ben Dryden, and you've been watching Positive Tuesday with Ben and Fitzy, presented by Professional Exteriors and Interiors. With 20 years of experience, this locally owned and operated business provides quality work both on the inside and on the outside of your home or business. Like Fitzy and I, they believe it's little things that make a big difference. Give them a call today. See what they can do for you. 715-520-2271. Special thank you to our guest today, Boys and Girls Club of Barron County, CEO and Executive Director Lori Zahrbock. I know, it's so easy to say, but I have to stop and read every word. Zahrbock. It just takes me time. Thanks for coming on for a chat today. Fitzy and I think still have 2 more guests lined up for the next 2 shows. Former Wisconsin Attorney General Brad Schimmel will be on next week. And who's on in 2 weeks, Fitzy?
Jen Jacob from ADRC to tell you about all the programs. So Lori knows about all those. Lori does a lot in the community besides the Boys and Girls Club. So
love it. My goodness gracious. All right, well, that's it for us. We'll see you next week. So until then, thank you for watching. And as always, have a blessed day.